California Tremors versus Cal Poly Pomona. This project focuses on the history and geographic location of Cal Poly Pomona and how seismic activity affects the school and the surrounding landscape. Starting with our foundation, the history and geographic location of Cal Poly Pomona by Gabriela Fagroso. Cal Poly Pomona is settled on a small set of hills in the city of Pomona in the county of Los Angeles, sited by the east and west running 10 freeway and north and south running 57 freeway. And with its school campus, farmlands, and parking lots, Cal Poly Pomona is the second largest school in the Cal State system. Cal Poly was founded in 1938 by W.K. Kellogg, the serial entrepreneur and philanthropist. Rumor has it that when deciding where to build the school, Kellogg flipped a coin to see if the school would be built in Santa Barbara or Pomona. Cal Poly began with the collapse of the Voris School for Boys in San Dimas, California. It was taken over by the San Luis Obispo-based California Polytechnic School also in 1938. Hence, the Voris School became the Cal Poly Voris unit, and its educational offerings were raised to the same level as Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. During World War II, most of the student body was called to active military duty, so enrollment declined and the campus closed in 1943. Reopening after the war, Cal Poly Voris unit operated in San Dimas until 1956 when it moved to W.K. Kellogg's former horse ranch in the neighboring city of Pomona, California. Breakfast magnate W.K. Kellogg granted 813 acres of land 3 miles south of San Dimas for the new institution. Initially an all-male school, women joined the campus in 1961. In 1966, the Pomona campus separated from San Luis Obispo campus and officially became the California State Polytechnic Pomona campus, which stands today. Now moving on to why and when the CLA building was built, as researched by Cole Farnsworth. In a 2013 article, Faculty CLA Building Destined for Destruction, by Tessa Huron, it states that Albuquerque architect Anton Predock won an international competition to design the classroom, laboratory, and administration building and complete the construction in 1992. The CLA building has been found to have constructional flaws and does not meet California earthquake codes. The CLA building sits upon the San Jose Fault that is 11 miles long and has been under review since 1995 by the CSU Seismic Review Board. The company Geocon says that the active fault essentially runs through the campus and underlies several buildings. The SoCal Earthquake Data Center states that the San Jose Fault is a strike-slip fault with a bit of reverse to it as well. The last major activity from this fault was in 1990 with a 5.4 magnitude earthquake. The likely magnitude to come from this fault is a 6.0 to 6.5. It runs from Walnut through Pomona, Laverne, and Claremont. As far as California earthquakes and buildings go, in a recent article from February 15, 2017, titled "In Santa Monica, a New Frontier in Earthquake Safety Could Soon Begin," there are roughly 2,000 buildings that need to be retrofitted. Buildings range from wooden apartment homes with carports that act as base floor with support posts to unrefined brick buildings that could prove a danger if an earthquake were to strike. The article also reports that the city of Los Angeles needs to retrofit 15,000 more buildings. Now moving on to the geographic issues with the CLA building and ways to fix it, as researched by Chantal Fuentes. The major issue with the CLA building is the fault that runs underneath it, but other problems include flawed engineering, frequent building malfunctions, classrooms to be described as prison cells, and no proper exits in case of fire or earthquake. The building receives mixed emotions from students and faculty about the construction of the building. During the time of the construction of the CLA building, it was known to be built on a fault and deemed inactive by state surveyors. Almost nearing completion of the building, the school was hit by a low-grade earthquake, which made the fault active and not dormant. The building continued despite the new active fault underneath it. Some ways to fix the CLA building include the CSU Seismic Review Board recommends that this building be placed on priority list number 1 for seismic retrofit. As of today, it is on that said list. As well as, the university planned to repair the problem in the structure, but the cost changed to balloon to approximately $80 billion. The school also agreed that tearing down the old building is the best approach. Repairing the old building would cost the same to fix it, plus relocating the new building away from the San Jose Fault. Chantal also reached out to Dr. Gary McGavin, who is a professor of architecture here at Cal Poly Pomona. McGavin gives two perspectives on the CLA building. The new building, based on Dr. McGavin's opinion, states that the new building will be safer, accessible, and more sustainable compared to the CLA complex. Yet he also states the location of the new building is questionable because it is a short distance from the San Jose Fault. So any future ruptures will still affect the new building, but the design will have the greatest effect. Unfortunately for the building, he believes that this is not needed. The CLA complex could and should be remediated instead of being torn down, which is not a sustainable decision. He's also quoted to say that, overall, the CLA complex is something of a poster child for poor seismic design on many levels. In his disclaimer, Dr. McGavin's opinion is based on his observations as an architect that was originally trained as a geologist and practiced earthquake-resistant designs for his entire career. He has visited the aftermaths of many earthquakes and has published his work from field observations. Majority of his published work is keeping essential facilities operational during and after an earthquake. Dr. McGavin has also sat on a CPP review committee for the question about renovation or raising the CLA complex. He argued for structural and architectural remediation in lieu of a new replacement building, but to no avail. This brings us to the final portion of the presentation, Future Plans for the CLA Building and the Student Services Building, presented by Alec Peak. Indeed, the CLA complex will be torn down, even though the building is an icon of Cal Poly and will forever be known as the Pointy Building. The teardown of the CLA will start once the new Student Services Building has been completed. The site for the new building was the old staff parking lot, which was Lot C, as you can see in this clip of the construction site. Here are some concept pictures of how the new building will look like. The new building is said to be more sustainable than the old CLA complex. The design is supposed to either resemble flowing water or rolling hills. There will be two different buildings connected under one roof. It will have a large opening in the center for foot traffic to flow through. This aspect is to be more appealing to people walking to class. In total, the building will be 138,000 square feet and will be completed in late 2018. This concludes our presentation on California Tremor versus Cal Poly Pomona. Thank you for watching.